My name is Kaylyn Hoskins. I'm a photographer and I'm 37 and I live in Solon, Iowa. My mom always took a lot of photos when we were little, and I remember most of the pictures I think are of me going, like getting mad, like annoyed with her taking the pictures. But she always took a lot of pictures, and so she always made sure we had a good camera. And whether it was a film camera, whether, a little point and shoot, and so it was always fun to take pictures, but I never felt like I was artistic or creative. So about 8 years ago, I had a massage practice. I still have a massage practice, but my focus is on photography. And about 8 years ago, I had a massage client who did photography, and she would come in and show me her work, and I was always fascinated by it. I call her my photography angel because she's amazing. So one time she came in for a massage, and I happened to be up for sunrise, and I remember looking at it, and it was bright orange, and I remember going in. She came in that day, and I said, "Oh, did you see the sunrise this morning? If I would have had a better camera, I would have got out and shot." And she said, "Kaylyn, a good photographer can take a great photo with a disposable camera." And I had a point and shoot in my purse all the time, but basically just to take pictures of my friends being crazy, right? Oh, this was before Facebook. Anyway, and after her massage, I went outside and I used my point and shoot, and I took pictures of the rusty nails on the roof at the gym where I had my massage practice. And then I just started using my point and shoot. Like I would just shoot everything. I shot with my point and shoot for about, I don't know, maybe it was about a year. I shot with my point and shoot. I would go shoot live music. I would shoot anything I possibly could, and I had taken a photo of a friend of mine, and it was straight shot out of the camera, out of my point and shoot. It was selective coloring in my point and shoot, but it was still an amazing shot. It was a reflection in the glass and during a flood, and it was incredible. And I remember being so excited when I took that picture just with my point and shoot. And then next time my photography angel Joe came in for a massage, I showed it to her, and I just printed it off on my printer at home, and I was so excited to show her. And then after I didn't have the money at the time to get a DSLR, and so after her massage, we were sitting out at the table, just chatting. She was paying whatever, and she said, "Well, I got a new big dog camera. I was gonna sell my backup onto eBay." And in my mind, I'm like, oh my god, I could get a real camera. And then in my mind, I'm like, wait, I don't have any, I can't afford it. And then I looked at her and I said, "Would you be willing to barter?" And she said, "Uh-huh." And it was just like she was waiting for me to be ready. And just to have shown that to her, and then after her massage, she just came out and said, "Hey, I have a camera for you." That, you just know the magic is, but you don't know, but you know. So when I got my first DSLR in 2008, which I bartered for, I gave massages for, I just started shooting. I was shooting everything. I would shoot anything I could. I would go out and shoot sunrise and sunsets, and I was obsessive over it. And I loved it so much. And then I would take pictures of, I would always have my camera with me, always. And then eventually somebody, actually it was just on Facebook, it was a memory. It was 8 years ago when I did my first shoot that I got paid for, meaning I got paid and I almost didn't take the $50 she offered me, like a big deal, and she still loves those pictures, and she's the best $50 I've ever spent. But yeah, I just started shooting, and then somebody said, "Hey, do you want to shoot a wedding?" And I was like, "Well, I need money." And then I don't know. Well, a couple years ago, I actually looked back on MySpace, and who looks on MySpace? Nobody, right? So it was back when I first started shooting, getting into photography, thinking that I was even creative enough to be a photographer. And I looked on there, and I think it still probably says, I haven't looked for years, but it still says, occupation massage therapist, wannabe photographer. And I truly, every day, I'm amazed that I am a photographer. I had a massage therapy practice at the gym in Iowa City for 12 years. And once I started getting into photography, and people slowly started to pay me money, and it wasn't a lot of money, but it was money for doing what I loved, I sort of focused. I stopped having my practice at the gym, and I would just work on my favorite, my favorite clients out of my home, and then I struggled with knowing that I was worth it. It was not about anything. It was just I struggled for far too many years not understanding that my work was valuable, and that I, to make a living. Because making a living as a photographer, like, people are like, oh, you get to go take pictures. That's great. It's fun. But that's 10% of what I do. But it's worth it. If somebody would have told me like 8 years ago that I'd be a photographer, I would have been like, hell no, I don't have an eye for that shit. No way, huh? If somebody would have told me that I'd be a boudoir photographer, like taking pictures of women in, lingerie, I would have been like, no way, that's crazy, that's weird, that's the weirdest thing. And I guess maybe because back then I was still figuring out finding the beauty in myself, so I wasn't as confident. I mean, I had a bride ask me to do a boudoir shoot for her, that I was photographing their wedding, and I was like, yeah, sure, I need the money, I'll do it, right? Whatever. And I was nervous, of course. I had like one light, I didn't know much about anything, and went over to my friend Andrea's, and we did the shoot there, because she had like a cool. I didn't have a great studio anyway, so I did a shoot with her, and she was so excited about her images. And when I shot the night of their wedding, at the reception, the groom came up to me after she must have gone and showed him. She went and showed him the album, and he came down, and he just had he came down, and he just looked at me, and he's like, that was amazing, those images are amazing, and he just gave me a big hug, and I was just like, it gives me goosebumps every time I think about it. Yeah, so and then it was around Valentine's Day, and I was like, oh, what could I do? It was before I changed my pricing, so it was many years ago, and I thought, oh, what could I do to make some money? I'll advertise for boudoir. And so then I sort of got into it, and then I photographed my friend who had just had a baby, and everybody loved their images, and then it just sort of took off from there, and the feeling of having a woman look at her images and cry or get emotional and be like, that's me, like that, like makes me want, like, it gives me goosebumps every time. Like, it's incredible. Like, I can't believe I get to do that for other women, to show them, like, yeah, you're fucking beautiful, like, you're so beautiful, like, stop looking in the mirror and looking at all the things that nobody else sees, and just be confident and walk taller. Not that a photo shoot necessarily on its own does that, but maybe if I can jumpstart that or something, I don't know. The most powerful shoots are the ones where people are more vulnerable, in the sense that like, if you take a picture of somebody in full clothes, and they like the picture, great, that's awesome. But if they really get, if they're vulnerable, nobody comes in here doing a boudoir shoot and says, hey, I'm excited about this, let me do this. Like, people are nervous. It doesn't matter who you are. Everybody's nervous, but they walk out like a different person. Like, even a high school senior shoot, but like a completely different person. And so I guess it's just basically empowering women to feel comfortable in their own skin. Anyway, I was broke, And I was living in my friend's basement for 8 months before I changed my pricing, and I did 3 shoots with my new pricing, and I had more money in my account than I'd had in 10 years. Not saying a lot. Like, I created my own struggles in my mind, I guess, in that sense, but like, just going from living in my friend's basement to manifesting this beautiful studio and how it all worked out perfectly. I guess it's hard to wrap up in a short little bit, I guess. But it wasn't always easy, and I don't know how many times I just cried and I was just like throwing my hands up like, I'm done, I can't do it anymore. Like, I'm done, I'll just find a job or something, do something else, go back to massage and do that. But the universe always provided, you know, some sign that I was supposed to do this.
What is happiness?
Happiness is different for every person. But there's always a better thought. Like, I haven't always been this happy. When I first started in my journey of reconnecting, I would listen to a lot of different, motivational speakers or whatever. But like, the one thing that I kept thinking, okay, so think a better thought. Think a better thought. So if you're really bummed about something, okay, there's got to be, like, think a better thought. There's got to be something better. Like, being sad, and unhappy is just a choice for the most part. But it's not easy, but it takes practice, just like everything else. So my passion has always been, even though I didn't really know it when I was finding myself and figuring out who I was and being confident with myself. And we're all on the journey. I'm still on the journey, and I love the journey. But helping someone feel better, whether it's, like in massage or photography. I mean, photography is my main gig now, but like, and to be able to have made a business out of it and to be able to make a living out of it I'm still blown away. Like, sometimes, like, if I wake up and I'm not in the best mood, I'll just stop myself and I'll look around and I'll be like, I live here in this amazing studio, and people are looking for somebody like me to do this for them. And I can't imagine not being able to not have followed my dreams enough, gone through the struggles in order to be where I'm at, to be able to help people. I've had so many angels, like I'll call them angels, in my life along my journey to help me get to where I'm at. And if I can do that for one other person, inspire one other person to show them, like, what everything that, we all have something to share with the world that is unique and that the world needs. I always have found the best in everybody and everything, and I truly have found the best in everybody, but like, it took me, and I'm still learning, as we all are, to find the best in myself too. Like, instead of, getting down on myself about something or whatever. But we're all amazing. We're all perfect. We all have so much to offer, and I just want everybody to understand that, like, their gift is so important.